It is the Happy Camper Radio Show, episode 260. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper, no doubt. You hang around with us long enough, we're going to make a happy camper out of you. And back from his trip to Nevada is
Daniel.
Daniel, the one and only Daniel Pitts. Yes, co-host of the Happy Camper Radio Show. And I know you had a blast while you were out there,
yeah.
Daniel.
It was hot.
Okay, a lot to talk about on the program. Daniel, one of the things I do want to speak specifically about here, and this is going to be on my conscience here over the next couple of weeks because I got a camping trip planned.
Uh-huh.
Right? And that's keeping your gear dry and protecting it from the elements.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of whether you're a tent camper or an RVer, there's ways to protect your equipment, and we're going to talk about it today on this edition of Happy Camper Radio.
Happy Camper Radio. Happy Camper Radio.
And without question, the Happy Camper Radio Show can be heard all around the world by great listeners like yourself. You can find us in all the major podcast directories, whichever one you listen to. Chances are you're going to find Happy Camper Radio right there. Just plug us in, and become a subscriber to the show. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. And if you want to see Daniel and I in action doing the show, well, guess what? You can subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Ooh.
When you get on that page, just click on that little red button down here with a pup tent inside of it. Yes, and you'll find it. Click on that, and you'll be a subscriber to our YouTube channel. Daniel, that trip to Nevada has got to be exciting, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. So we flew out, it's been a couple weeks ago, and, we stayed in Las Vegas. We did a few things around Las Vegas, but our main thing when we were out there is to go to the national parks. So we went to Joshua Tree the second day. We didn't do a lot of hiking, but we did a lot of off-the-road exploring because a lot of the sites were off the road. And, it's just totally different from out here. It's big, vast desert with the mountains in the background, and it's just a whole new world, and it's just, different things, different birds, lizards everywhere, all kinds of stuff. And it was really cool. And we went to Death Valley and saw all that stuff, got all the pointers from Rose. She told us all the places to go and what to do and everything. So that was nice.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, we didn't really get to hike too much because these state parks, they are very, very, very big. And it takes a while to get there. It took about 3 hours to get to each of them. So it's kind of a hike. But something I found out when we went to Joshua Tree the second day is that I am eligible for a military pass.
Yes.
And I was telling you about that.
I was very excited. You told me about that, and there it is right there, Daniel, your military access pass.
Mm-hmm.
America the Beautiful. I have one of those. And now, of course, mine cost me a little bit of money. I got no complaint there. But, being the fact that you're a military veteran, you got this free of charge. The only difference between yours and mine is mine has my name on it. Okay?
Ah.
But it still does pretty much the same thing. All right. And it gets you in and out of the federal parks.
For free. Even
free.
like the so we also did some kayaking on the Colorado River, and we went to a little cave, and we saw goats on the side of the river and stuff. And that river is cold. It's like 57 degrees all year long.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool. And I think it was like $15-$20 to get in there, but because I had that pass, it was nothing.
Cool.
So I saved a lot of money with that, and I'm really excited. And I want to go to so many more national parks now that I have that. Really take advantage of it.
Super. And there's a lot of them out there, too. And a lot of them are very beautiful. But considering that you have been on several hikes lately, I would assume that those national parks that you went to or whatever you went to out there in Nevada, I've never been before. You probably got your exercise in there.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, lots of walking.
Did your wife, Deidre, keep up with you?
We didn't walk too much, but, yeah, I tried to stick with her.
Okay.
So it was nice. But, yeah, and then, so we did all that in Nevada. That was most of the naturey stuff, kayaking, the two state parks, and then we went to national parks. Went to the state park, not a national park. It's called Valley of Fire State Park, and that was really cool. That was hot. We did some hiking there, and that was really cool. And there's a movie set. I forgot what it was a movie set from an old Western there. And it's just another world out there. And it's just really nice. If anyone's ever been to Moab and Arches, it had a lot of that feel to it. And it was really cool and really nice.
Okay.
So anyway, so we got back, and then I went hiking with Gary a little while after that, and we went up to, it's called Wyabald. It's off the AT, and the first night we stayed in a shelter, and that's the first time we stayed at a shelter that I've ever, I've never really stayed at shelters on the AT. I mean, I didn't stay in the shelter. I stayed like in the area because they have like a porta potty, not a porta potty, but like a outdoor bathroom, and they have the shelter, and there were people there, and we had a blast. We just hung out and talked to people, and just got to meet new people, and it was a lot of fun.
Super. That is really
And then the
good.
next day I started a little bit of the Bartram Trail, and we did 10 miles of that and camped out, and had breakfast the next day, and before you know it was time to go back to work.
It was time to do that. And believe me, I've had to go back to work on many, many occasions. But, that was back in the days before I had the RV that I have right now. And, Daniel, that brings us up to today's discussion, and that is protecting our property, our valuable equipment, whether it be your RV or your primitive camping gear, from the elements. Now, like I said, I'm an expert almost on this subject matter because I have been hit with so many rainstorms when I was camping. And over the years, I have lost hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of camping equipment because of rain.
Ugh.
All right. And, it's like the timing is perfect. Every time I go out there, Mother Nature she does not care. Okay. She don't care who you
Go out
are,
west, Skip.
where
It
you're
don't
camping
rain.
at. Yeah.
It don't rain.
Yeah. But, the remarkable thing today, Daniel, since I do have an RV now, just about every campground that I go to, and I go to the Army Corps sites because that's where these access passes really
And it's cheap.
come to be. And
It's cheaper than state parks.
it's inexpensive, yes. But just about every one that I have been to now, all right, I rarely see anybody primitive camping.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see tents. I see RVs. Okay, and then I see people out walking their dogs, and they're having a good time. But, when they get hit with rain, I mean, I am suffering like everybody else is in that campground. And chances are you're going to be inside with the air conditioning running, depending upon what time of the year you're camping. You may have your heater on, all right, but you're inside probably watching DVDs or playing board games like, you and your wife are so used to doing.
Puzzles.
But it's good to have that. The problem is, Daniel, all right, the gear on the outside of your RV or on the outside of your tent is subject to getting damaged or destroyed because of rain. All right. One of the things that I'm real particular about, I've always carried a tarp with me, even with the RV, because it's only about a year old now.
Yeah.
But when I have a table set up and I've got my grill set up on that, and I've got my little butane stove set up on the outside, okay, I want to protect that from the elements. Now, I have carried a ground tarp with me and put up over top of that. But keep in mind, too, when it comes to rain, you're also going to be dealing with wind.
Yep.
And no matter how well you try to cover that with a ground tarp, chances are there's going to be some water getting underneath there some way, some form, somehow. All right. And I've experienced that. What I've decided to do, however, is now that I've got this camping trip coming up here in a couple weeks, I'm going to go ahead on Amazon, and they make these custom table covers, which just drape right over all sides. It's like, it's custom fitted for your particular table. You just got to know what the dimensions are of your table.
Yeah.
And just very simply put that over the top. And guaranteed to be waterproof.
There you go.
All right. And it only takes a couple seconds just to toss that on there. It's just something else I have to haul with me. But, considering the fact that rain follows me just about everywhere I go, it's going to be a good thing to carry along.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And it's not going to take up too much space. So, you've got that. And also something else that I've got to deal with here. In fact, this morning, Daniel, we had rain here
Yep.
Okay, 4 o'clock this morning, the thunderstorm started rolling in.
Yep.
Sadie's getting all upset, all right? And I'm not used to being up out of bed at that particular time, but I ended up getting up, and I was up for a few hours and managed to lay back down later on. But one of the things that I found here is I had a camping chair on the back patio. The rain beat me to it.
Ugh.
Okay, so I had to go bring that inside and dry it out. You've got camping chairs that you're going to bring to your campground, whether it be your primitive site or with your RVs, and you've got to make sure that you've got those put away at night. And fortunately for me, I've got a cover on the bed of my truck so I can slide my camp recliner. And of course, I always carry a couple extra camping chairs because you never know what company you're going to get at your campsite. So, I always have some extra chairs available in case anybody wants to come out and sit out on my patio. And
There you go.
But you want to keep those dry too.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be very important. And, I'm just thinking ahead here. I don't want to make the same mistakes over the years that I have made in the past. Okay. Even though that, most of my equipment is going to be dry, but, regardless if you get any type of a rainstorm at all that comes through, even the slightest, when you get home, you still got to hose things off. You still got to dry things out.
Yep.
Okay. And that's one of the things that, I find is very important, and I'm more conscientious about it today than I was before.
Yeah.
Okay. So, when I plan on camping, it may look nice now, but, a couple of days down the road, you just don't know when you're there when something bad is going to happen.
Yep.
Okay.
So when we take our pop-up out, and if it rained at all, when we came back, we'd always put it up and make sure it was in the sun for at least a day, because you don't want to keep it in there because it'll get moldy and it's not a good time. So you got to make sure with that. And then with backpacking and stuff, a lot of people, they'll put compactor bags into their pack, and they'll put stuff in there. So if it rains, that stuff will be dry. And there's a lot of waterproof, like jackets and stuff and all that. And it's probably good to spray it down with some waterproof solution once a year to make sure that's still waterproof and stuff. And, you want to make sure that you test all your gear to make sure that it'll work properly for when you're out there, because you want to make sure that, it's actually waterproof before you actually go out there in the rain. Because if you go out there and it's not working, then you're stuck. So there's a lot of stuff you got to, figure out if you're going to anticipate rain. I usually try to not walk in the rain because that's messy.
Yeah. And of course, looking long term also, you got to consider the exterior of your RV. Okay. And in my case here, I make it a point to get up on that roof and scrub that roof down at least twice a year.
Yep. Okay.
And make sure that all the seals and everything up there are taken care of. And regardless of what type of RV you have or what manufacturer you dealing with here, chances are you're going to have an owner's manual, and it's going to be very important that you follow that to the letter. Okay. And to this day, I've got my manual. Okay. That's my Bible right there. And I constantly read it because I just want to be up to speed on everything to make sure that I'm doing everything that the manufacturer recommends. The last thing you want to do is have your equipment in the shop.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And that's not an option for me. Okay. So yeah, you've seen the way I've taken care of my RV since it's been parked here. And, I'm right now working on a designated parking spot for it.
Yeah.
And, for yourself, for, just as an example here, Daniel, you got your pop-up camper in the garage.
Oh yeah. You got to.
Okay.
You got to. It's just so much better.
I don't have that option to put my RV in the garage. Right. Okay. But believe me, if I could, it will be in there.
Oh, definitely.
Right? Yeah.
It helps a lot.
They do make garages big enough for them.
They do.
And I'm sure some people out there have made the extra investment to protect their RV, and that's okay. All right. But, I didn't last year, but this coming year, I'm going to make sure that I've got a cover for it. Yeah. And so when my RV camping season is done for 2023, that I have a good cover to put on top of that Okay, and cover it and protect it from the elements for at least a couple, 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when the winter weather moves through here, it doesn't get too bad here in Georgia.
Yeah.
We do get some light snow every year. Maybe once a year we'll get about an inch of snow in the early morning
Hadn't snowed in
hours.
like 3 years, it seems.
Yeah, and then by mid-afternoon it's all gone.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
But you know, it does get cold down here.
Oh, yeah.
Just like it does get hot, like you
Oh,
said,
yeah.
hot Atlanta.
Ugh.
That's exactly what it is. But you know, I really believe that every time that you go camping, you've got to be conscientious of the fact that the rain could move in on you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I've seen that way too many times. Okay, and hot weather too. I mean that sometimes, you know, it gets a little too hot, and if you don't have that canopy over, you know, your RV, you know, and I like to roll out that canopy, especially when it's hot outside, because you know, I want to be comfortable with sitting underneath it there, and if you don't have that, and those camping chairs do get very hot. Okay?
Oh yeah, they'll burn you sometimes.
Yeah,
if they're out in the sun
true.
too long.
Mm-hmm. But that's another thing too, folks. You know that depending upon the manufacturer of your RV, I know the Grand Design here, for example, if you go away for any length of time, now the only place Sadie and I ever go at the campground is maybe a walk through the entire campground. Okay, and that is my idea of a hike, because along the way I'm going to get to meet folks. I'm going to get to meet people, and you know, and heavens, you know, you only may meet them one time in your life, okay, but you've made a friend for life.
Yep.
You know, and I like talking with people at the campground, but anytime that I go away, I always make sure that canopy is retracted. Mm-hmm. Because the slightest bit of wind that may come through there, the weather changes on a dime. Mm-hmm. If you've got that out, if it starts raining, you don't need your canopy destroyed while you're at a campground. Okay, you don't need it destroyed anyway, period. All right.
Now that you're talking about that, we a few years ago, I think I've talked about this before, we had our canopy up on our pop-up, and we were out at some outlet malls, and a tornado came through. It wasn't near our campsite, near not Mobile, but Gulf Shores, and it stayed up. But I'm wondering if it did take a beating, and that's why it eventually failed later on. So yeah, but you never know. It's crazy because we did not expect a tornado to come through, but thank goodness it stuck around.
Well, a few years ago, we didn't expect a microburst to come through Stone Mountain Park Campground. In fact, I just recently put an old photograph on Facebook.
I saw that.
Yeah, that was our very first remote podcast that we did. We had a good time that afternoon.
Definitely.
Not having any idea that later on that night, well, you were home in bed, comfortable as could be. Yeah, my brother and I got, oh, wow. That's an experience unlike any other. But, wow. You know, we had a good time over there, though. So, I mean, there's another example of, you know, you just don't ever know what to expect when you go camping. But I am more conscientious now than ever about keeping your camping equipment safe, keeping it dry, and doing everything you can possibly do to protect your investment. Because I don't want to have to reinvest in something that should have never been destroyed in the first place. Okay. And I carry a lot of gear with me.
You do.
Right? Now, you know, like I was saying just a little bit ago, we've got a camping trip 3 weeks away from now. We're going to be going back to Mount Airy, North Carolina. I am meeting my brothers up there at the birthplace of Andy Griffith.
There you go.
And we are going to be staying at the Beechnut Family Campground. We stayed there before and we primitive camped. This time we're doing the RV thing. We're going to be right there by the lake. We already got our reservations in. They have full hookups there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even sewage?
Yeah, even sewage.
Are you going to hook up the sewage this time?
For the first time, yes.
Wow, that's exciting.
So, yeah, I have the tote on the back. I'm still bringing that along, but I always take that down for the purpose of putting up the flagpole.
Yeah.
All right, and I've got to have that up there too. Okay. But I made the reservations probably about 6 months ago.
Okay.
And we're all set to go.
That's exciting.
So yeah, we're gonna be hopefully doing a remote podcast from up there and getting you on the phone back here.
Yeah,
in
I'll
Atlanta.
probably be working.
Yeah,
I'll be delivering mail at the time probably.
Yeah, we may do it in the evening. We'll see how it goes. But you know, we have fun doing those. We've done some remotes already, and it's always good coming outside of the studio, even when we're doing the remote inside the RV.
Yeah,
we've only done that
definitely.
one time. We're going to have to do that again.
Oh yeah,
so
definitely.
yeah. I mean, we've got the tools of the trade here.
We can do it anywhere.
Yeah, but I am really excited, Daniel, and I'm really looking forward to that. Now, they say I think Mount Airy is about a 5-hour drive. For me, it's going to
really?
be about a 7-hour drive,
Oof.
considering the fact I'm hauling the RV, and I also make it a point to hit the rest stops.
Yep.
Okay, because you got to get up, you got to stretch, and I know Sadie needs to go out and do her business, but it's always good to climb in the back of the RV at that time too.
Oh,
because
yeah.
if you need to use
Take
the
a nap.
restroom facility, you don't have to go inside. Okay,
Yeah.
you don't have the state operated facility itself. You've got your own utilities and whatever you need right there. And of course, it's good to have some lunch. And if you
Yep.
want to take a nap, you can do that. So I'm going to
That's
probably plan on leaving about 5 in the morning, and hopefully get up there maybe around 1 or 2 in the afternoon. But
Nice.
I'm getting a day's head start on my brothers.
Ah,
So yeah,
they got a lot longer to go than you.
a little bit of a drive. Yeah, but it's going to be a fun 4 or 5 day trip.
Wow.
To Mount Airy. I'm going to be taking a lot of pictures, a lot of
that's
videos, some sites that we haven't been to before. But I'm really looking forward to going back.
Yeah.
It's one of those campgrounds up there. If you've been there before, you say, "Wow, I want to come here again." Okay, it's kind of like the one up here on Lake Lanier.
Yeah.
One of my favorites up there. Okay, and I've got that trip coming up again in August.
Wow.
And what's
I gotta
also
know you by name up there.
well, pretty much so. I mean, the same campground hosts
Yeah.
were there last time I was
Oh,
around.
nice.
And the nice part about that campground, they've got a grocery store very close by.
Oh.
It's Daniel's Grocery.
You won't need it though,
I,
because you can bring everything.
I stopped there
need it.
before.
I'd need it.
Daniel, I've stopped there before.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, and of course, when I walk in there, I look forward to seeing maybe you behind the counter, but I don't ever get to see you there. Yeah, Daniel's Grocery is a good place to
Oh,
shop
I thought
there.
that was up in Pennsylvania.
No, it's right here on Lake Lanier. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I
Yeah.
didn't know it was. Oh, okay.
I've got to take you and Deidre
Oh,
there.
wow.
Yeah, and see why I go camping at that particular campground and why I like it so much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So a lot of things to look forward to. I'm just going to ask you all to just keep your fingers crossed for me, and hopefully when I get up there, I'm not going to have any rain to deal with, because rain, it does a number on me every single time.
yeah.
All right, and we just don't need that. Okay. Hopefully, I have a lot of pictures and a lot of information I want to share with everybody. Daniel, it's time now for our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Happy Camper Radio. Happy Camper Radio.
Well, Daniel, speaking of Pennsylvania, my home state, that's where
Yeah.
we're going to go this week
Ah.
for our featured campground. And Daniel, this is a beautiful one if you ever want to get up there, and I'm sure my brother has probably been here already. It is the 7 Points Campground.
Ah.
Yes, and it is our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. There are 6 camping loops within the 7 Points Campground with a full-service marina available. So, in other words, there's a lake there.
Aha.
Okay. Each camping loop has a restroom and a playground, and most loops have showers. Campsites are spacious where available and include a picnic table, a fire grill, a lantern hanger, and most sites offer electrical hookups, which is something you and I definitely need when we go
yeah.
camping, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, especially when you're camping in the summer months when you got to have that air conditioner
to.
running. Yes.
Yes, sir.
As a convenient bonus, sites are a mile away from grocery,
Aha.
bait, tackle, and gas.
Ah.
All the information is going to be available to you this week on the Happy Camper Radio website. You can check it out right there. Look through the entire thing and make sure you observe the know before you go items anytime you go camping at a recreation.gov campground. Make sure you know before you go all the details, okay? And you can find them right there on the website. We'll have a link to it all week long on happycamperradio.com. And remember, folks, don't move firewood.
Ah.
Protect the forest from those tree-killing pests, and there's a lot of them out there. And you can do that by buying your firewood locally and burning it on site. For more information, visit don'tmovefirewood.org. If you're looking for a great place to go camping, a wonderful campground up in Pennsylvania, you may want to consider this one right here. It's the 7 Points Campground, and it is our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Skip and Daniel.
Oh, yeah.
Happy Camper
And by all means, friends, anytime you want to look for a campground, if you have a campground in mind that you want to share with us, get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, or this guy right here,
Daniel at happycamperradio.com.
And by all means, be sure to include a link to the campground website. Daniel, that's going to wrap up this edition of the Happy Camper Radio Show. It's always a pleasure to have you on board.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I am so forward to looking to our next episode. Maybe we'll get one or two more in before I have to take off again.
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to that. And that's going to wrap up today's edition of the Happy Camper Radio Show. Always a pleasure to be with you here. You know, Daniel.
Yeah.
This is going to be a great summer. Okay, we're just getting it
This
kicked
is the
off.
first summer of you having it the whole time, right?
Yeah, it certainly
Nice.
is. Okay,
You're
it's
excited.
a year old now. I got to do more camping and quit
Yep.
the remodeling here for a moment. Remember, friends, every pet deserves a loving home. Do exactly like I did. Visit your local shelter and adopt a pet today. You can find us on the web. We're there 24/7 at www.happycamperradio.com. You can like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, and be a subscriber to our show by subscribing to the YouTube channel. Click the little red box down there again with the pup tent inside of it. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye, everybody.